Welcome to You Can Be ABCs, a podcast where we learn about careers and have a little fun along the way. I'm Sam.
And I'm Bobby. Yes. Sam, how you feeling today? All is well?
Pretty good.
How was school this week?
I've been waiting to get out of school.
For what reason?
Well, I just wanted to watch a lot of TV this weekend.
Well, if you don't know this, Sam wants to watch television because he isn't allowed to watch television during the week, so he watches television on the weekend. Anything on the dance cart you had planned to watch?
I was gonna watch maybe The Amazing World of Gumball, maybe some Teen Titans. Not Teen Titans Go, Teen Titans.
I have no idea what the difference is. Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go.
Oh my goodness, the difference is humongous.
You asked, first of all, calm down. You act like I don't know what the 14th Amendment or something is. This is about a cartoon, not knowing the difference between Teen Titan and Teen Titan Go. But please proceed.
So Teen Titans, it's like an anime-ish show with a little cartoon in it. Teen Titans Go, it's just straight cartoon. Like, it's kind of good, but the plot is so stupid.
I mean, that's not being insulting to the writers of Teen Titan Go.
It's the same people for Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go. If you two are listening, I like Teen Titans way better.
Okay. All right. That's your opinion. We'll, but I like it. Okay. Well, very good. Well, listen, we have some exciting news that we want to share. You Can Be ABC started out as a hashtag, a viral rap that Sam helped to write when he was 5 and it was a viral video, went viral. I still, 50 million views on social media, went to being a book. Shout out to our friends at Penguin Random House, Philomel Books, Penguin Kids, Talia Bellamy. We appreciate you guys so much. We really do.
What is he doing? What are you doing?
I don't know where that voice came from. I don't know. I felt the spirit. I don't know what that was, but anyway.
What is he talking about?
I don't know. Okay, tell me, give me a pass. So we're happy. The book came out some time ago, children's picture book, and now
we have a board book.
A board book, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know what a board book is, a board book is it's probably kind of possibly indestructible. I mean, it's like it won't survive a nuclear attack, but it sure will survive the power of the hands of a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Have we ever soaked one in water? I don't know if that works. Or will mess it up. But if you don't know a board book is just essentially the book on these really thick pages that will allow a smaller kid to have it and not have to worry about tearing up the pages in the picture book, right?
Is this even made of paper?
Wood, paper, yeah, some version, right? It's not plastic, is it? Well, wherever it is, I want to let you know that it's available, and wherever you buy what's that thing they used to say? In a store near you, or wherever you buy books. I don't know. That sound legitimate, real?
Boo. No, that was horrible.
I'm trying, Paul. I'm trying.
Well, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah. But anyway, this is our board book. It is now. Listen to that. See? That's made out of something formidable. So please pick one up. Pick up several. Give them away. We'd love for you to buy these. You Can Do It All is on the back. I love that.
Woohoo!
Right on. Well, I thought about this, Sam, and I kind of want to talk a little bit because I'm really interested in knowing, and I get confused a bit. I don't know. I watched a little bit of the Grammys the other day and the Grammy Award.
Who watches the Grammys anymore?
I mean, but really, there was a really cool, some cool things happened there. Mm-hmm. Like there's this young artist that I think is cool. Doechii is her name or whatever. Beyonce, of course. You ever heard of Doechii?
No.
Yeah, of course, It's cool. I mean, because again, but let me say this. Things are so different now. You know what I'm struggling with?
What?
I'm struggling with the fact that I don't know who's famous anymore. And then if they're famous, I don't know why they're famous.
How do you you not know this stuff?
No, I'm telling you. But listen, you don't know who's famous either.
Yes, I do.
You don't know. You think you do, but you don't.
I do.
There are a whole bunch of people who are out here. Like you have to keep this in mind. This is also how I think about the podcast. Everybody doesn't have to listen, right? But everybody has a different audience, right? Like there are some musicians who years ago, I thought they fell off, but they have been recording music for like the last 15 years. And I didn't hear, last album I heard of theirs was like from 20 years ago, but there's an audience that's been listening to them and patronizing them over the last 15 years. And I had no idea. So I'm saying to you, it used to be famous. Fame is hard right now because of social media and stuff. So there are few people who are universally famous. Like, who's somebody in your mind that's universally famous?
Obviously,
like
Beyonce.
Everybody knows. Beyonce is universally famous.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is universally famous. Universally famous, like young to old. Universally famous people know that.
Snoop Dogg, Eminem.
Let me say this. Snoop Dogg has messed around and become universally famous.
Yeah.
That's amazing. To think of how he started out. That's almost like the fact that,
I mean, he's Snoop Dogg. It's not a surprise.
But see, that's the man. If you only knew how I was introduced to Snoop Dogg, and the fact that he is now, you're absolutely right though. That dude was on the Olympics. Did you see him? He had a show with Martha Stewart. Universally famous. Okay, name somebody else. Universally famous.
Let's see.
This is a good conversation because there's a point I want to make.
Do you mean just music artists or like
no,
everybody?
Just generally speaking.
Okay, LeBron James.
LeBron James is universally famous. He's universally famous, right? Michael Jackson, universally famous. Also, not with us anymore, but yes, universally famous. Like this is interesting. You mentioned Michael Jackson. There were years ago where the only way there were not all these other people there were the universally famous people, and then there were just the other folks. But there's so many definitions of how people get to be famous or how they become famous. And one of them in particular is like how social media has made it where, man, you can be famous and people know you. I'll see you on the streets and will ask you what time it is. I mean, because I just don't know. I don't keep up like that. Years ago, I'm sorry, let me finish the point. It used to be like Michael Jackson, Brooke Shields. Who did I grow up with? People who were universally famous. There were a few other folks who were like...
The dinosaurs?
Oh, please stop. Boo. It's too easy. When jokes are too easy, it's just too easy. So yeah. But people are universally famous. Like, I don't even know what they do.
Does Ninja count as universally famous?
Ninja who?
No. So there's this guy online named Ninja. And so there's this other guy that made a song. And in one of the lines it said, imagine if Ninja had a low taper fade. And so he ended up getting the haircut.
I have no idea who these people are here referencing. A low taper fade.
Yeah.
I don't know who Ninja is. A low taper fade.
Imagine if Ninja had a low taper fade.
So is Ninja African American?
No.
Is the person saying a song African American?
No idea.
Oh, I didn't know low taper fade actually was a term that played in other places outside of the
haircut.
It's a haircut, but I didn't know that. I didn't know you can get a low taper fade at Supercuts. I thought that was something you had to get in the neighborhood.
You can get low taper fades anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that just lets you know I need to get out a little bit more. Well, I just never been with. First of all, I don't have hair like I used to have.
Exactly.
But I still get with the part that I do have. I have a little bit on the side.
Mm-hmm.
But low taper fade. Yeah, fade. Like I don't know where the term fade came from, but I thought it came from like the barbershop in the neighborhood, the brothers and the sisters, or you look on the wall and they got about 1920 pictures up there. Yeah, let me get that number 4. Where you point at the picture that you want. You haven't seen those pictures on the wall at the barbershop?
Yeah, I've seen those pictures on the wall, but I never used those.
Yeah, of course. You don't have to use them, but it's just one of the things that you see. Like the certain barbershops, they had the little spinner thing with the red and the white. Other barbershops had a chart on the wall where you can point out which cut you wanted.
Maybe KSI is universally famous for being.
Who is that?
So, he's this guy. My favorite song.
What's his name?
KSI.
Okay, keep talking.
So he's a music artist. My favorite song by him is "Thick of It."
Oh, I've heard you sing that.
Yeah.
Into the thick. How's the song go?
I'm in the thick of it. Everybody knows. They know me where it snows. I skied in and they froze. I don't know nothing but no ice. I'm just cold. 40-something, milli-something, so I've been told. I'm in prime and this ain't even final form. They knock me down, but still my feet ain't found the floor. I went from the room straight out, so that was last fire, but trust I'm ready for the war. Whoa. This is how the story goes.
Okay, I get it. I remember hearing the song, but is he a musical artist?
Yes, I like him, but not a whole lot of people do.
Okay. Well. The point I want to make is this though. Like, so fame is one of those things where it comes in so many different ways. But I thought about a story. My god brother is a guy named John Flagg, right? And he's older than I am. And we grew up in South Memphis, USA. Shout out to South Memphis. His younger sister is named Michelle. And Michelle and Tan are great friends. And his mother was in fact was my godmother. So John went on to be this great engineer. He worked at NASA. Yeah, and I think he worked at Boeing too, but I worked at NASA. So here's the interesting part. There was this movie that came out called Hidden Figures. Do you remember that movie? It's about these black women who actually worked and supported the space program, and they were these historical figures who actually supported famous launch years ago. Oh, you have to watch the movie. It's really a great movie.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's the movie called Hidden Figures, which was about these African American women who actually worked for the space program years ago. And Hidden Figures was a pretty good name because guess what? They hid them and they didn't have them out in front. They did a lot of the background work that supported the overall mission, right?
So were they like the main characters or just like the background characters?
They were the background characters in real life. They were the main characters in the movie. Right. There you go. Right. Good question. So what's interesting about it, though, to me is that John was an engineer at NASA. And I remember him telling me he'd never heard of them.
He never heard of NASA?
No.
Okay, good.
He never heard of the women in Hidden Figures, kid.
Well, that's relatable.
Yeah, it is relatable, but he never heard of them. So he was inspired. I have to talk to him some point because he was inspired to go and become this from South Memphis. I don't remember there being an engineer in his family. But he was inspired to go become an engineer, and he worked at NASA, but he'd never heard of these really inspiring women who were African-American like him, who could have inspired him along his journey. He ended up there, but he'd never heard of them. So it occurs to me that one of the things that, is possibly something we should think about is what does fame look like in these different areas, right? Like we know a couple of famous people in areas, like who's somebody famous in, I don't know, the movies. Movies.
Will Smith, that guy from Fly Me to the Moon and 21 Jump Street.
His name's Shannon. Is that Shannon Tatum? Is that his name?
I don't know.
Well, they can't
Chris-
be too famous if you can't say their names.
Chris Pratt, Brad Pitt.
Okay, good enough. All right, all right. So those are movies. Those are some famous people in the movies. All right, let's name who's somebody famous in music. Give me 3. You've already named some. I mean, that's easy. Wow. What about somebody famous in hockey?
You know I don't keep up with sports.
Yeah, but you don't keep up with hockey either. Most people don't keep up with hockey, but they've heard this guy named Wayne Gretzky.
Nope.
What about football?
Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Derrick Henry.
Okay, so check that out, right? So these are famous people you know in these different fields, right? But I think that there's something to be said for with kids or somebody famous in politics, aside from the current president and aside from the last president, somebody famous in politics.
Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and George Washington.
Yeah, very cool, right? So it occurs to me that in like sports, one of the reasons that a lot of times people are like, yeah, I want to do that is because they see that. I'm talking about sports, right? Kid, hey, I want to grow up to be basketball player, right? Mm-hmm. Because number one, they know a couple people, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, right? They've seen it. Somebody wants to go into politics. They've seen it, with folks like, Bill Clinton or Bill Clinton still, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, they've seen it. Hey, I want to go into politics or whatever, right? But here's the thing. There are so many other areas where people don't think about it because they, number one, don't know that it exists. Or number two, they don't know anybody that does anything in that area. Like, in other words, you can't become familiar with something that you don't know or don't see. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, if people knew, like, somebody, hey, I know that guy, he does so-and-so, they might be more interested in going into whatever so-and-so is. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I think part of what we've got to start thinking about is, how can we make some of these people famous? Like, people who are, I don't know, engineers, civil engineers, and gastroenterologists. What's the next line?
Good problems in the good.
Right. Gastroenterologists or physical therapists. I think we got to figure out how to make some of these people famous.
Well, with engineers, I would say you could design the first dome, but that's already been done.
Of course it's been done a long time ago. But I tell you this about engineers. They are so busy, like, doing their work. But again, we got to figure out how to make those folks, how to highlight what they do and to highlight them. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know we've given this thought and talked about it, and I think that one of the things that's going to be on our agenda to do is, like, how do we make some of these people famous, at least famous among kids? Like, I would love for people to know, oh yeah, I know that guy. He's the guy who designs stuff over at Meta, or the guy that designs, or he's the guy who wrote the code for this game or that game. Yeah, how do we make people like that famous? Because it'll help inspire people in the same way that people see LeBron playing basketball and Steph shooting the ball. I mean, Steph Curry. Steph Curry has officially messed up basketball for everybody.
What do you mean? Is he good or is he dog water?
He's amazing. But here's the problem. The problem is we used to be able to say this to kids, right? I have a kid that's talking about, yeah, I want to go play basketball. Well, first of all, you're about 4'11".
I'm 5'2".
You're about 4'11", and hey, bro, you're not going to get too much taller, and you're not jumping up high. And so we used to be able to try to make people open up their horizons to other stuff out there because you're not tall enough, you're not jumping and very athletic. And then guess what happens?
What?
Steph Curry came along, messing up everybody. Now everybody wants to be Steph Curry. Shoot the ball from half court, But yeah, Steph Curry's messing up everybody. Don't you? Isn't that what people? I mean, you don't play basketball much, but Who do they say when they're shooting a long shot or when they're shooting a shot out there? I mean, who do people they call?
Kobe.
They say Kobe, right? That's a good one. They say Kobe, but they're shooting a longer shot. Steph Curry or maybe Caitlin Clark now. I don't know. He likes Caitlin Clark. Tell him why you like Caitlin Clark.
I played NBA 2K25 with her one time, and she scored 94 points.
That's not even real. That's terrible. 94 out of how many points? How much did the team score?
101.
Shout out to Jazz. Jazz is somebody I used to coach many years ago. I used to coach this varsity girls team. I did it for 1 year, maybe 2 years. I'll never forget. There's a young. This is before the WNBA was a big thing, right? Mm-hmm. A young lady. Her name was Jazz. We lost to a school called Kingsbury. The score was like 51-49. They beat us. It was a girls' game. Jazz scored 43 points of our 49 points.
Did you take her out in the game? Ever?
For what? I mean, she's the only one scoring.
Exactly my logic with Caitlin Clark.
I mean, she was killing them and still lost. She scored 43 points out like our 49. And we still lost the game. I mean, if I was the other team, I would have put everybody on her because, nobody else is scoring like that. No disrespect to anybody. But yeah, back to our point. Making people in these other careers famous, right?
Social media.
Well, social media works, but how? Like a lot of these folks, they are possibly on social media themselves, but I think we've got to create this forum where we can get people connected to us, and then we can connect those career professionals to kids, right? Mm-hmm. So we've got to be like the nucleus of it, right? Where we are getting career professionals connected to us or our organization, and we're also getting kids connected to our organization, and then we just kind of mix and match, right?
So would the kids be the ribosomes?
Why would you say that?
They're tiny.
No, I don't know that matches or tracks, but it's good enough. But I'll say this though, it's probably gonna be, I don't know. It goes back to the fact that there aren't enough career professionals who are famous. There, I said it. That's the point I wanted to make. There are not enough people who do amazing things as a career who are famous. We know people who are in the movies and play sports, but we don't know like even people behind the scenes who do these really amazing things that make our life easier.
I know Galileo and Martin Luther and who else do I know? That German guy that printed the Bible.
Yeah, but I'll say this.
German.
I'll say this though. Those are all dead guys, right? I'm thinking more of, and not just dead, been dead a long time. I'm thinking more along the lines of people who are still living right now who can interact with kids and talk to kids and just talk about, hey, this is what I do. I love what I do. And this is how, going back to those questions that we had about asking folks, we need to figure out how to make some career people famous. There we go. Full stop. There we go. That's a good point. You don't think so?
Nobody.
Oh no, that's a great point. I think the whole idea is that, look, let me say this, because again, and we don't say anything else.
You see how he's giving himself fake applause?
No, that's the studio audience. They're clapping again. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh,
clearly saw you pressing a button.
Thank you so much. That's so kind of y'all. But I will say this. Whatever. I'll say this. I think that as we're going along and figuring things out, that's going to be, that whole thing. How do we make these folks famous and get them connected to us in a way that's, really cool. So, but I think that's a great mission to have. And I think that we got some strategies on it, but, we need to work through a few things. So famous folks, like we know famous inventors from the past, but hey, who's somebody famous that living right now? Not just people in history, but people who are living right now. Like, have you been to any schools? Like, it's Black History Month or something now, right? Mm-hmm. So if you go to some schools, they'll have stuff on the wall. Hey, Garrett A. Morgan invented the stoplight, and Dr. Charles Drew, blood plasma. But what does that look like now? Like, who are some people we should know now?
Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois.
No. I'm talking about not those folks. I'm talking about who are people. Like, what's the current version of Garrett Morgan or Dr. Charles Drew? Like this Dr. Kizzy. She actually is behind. She's an African American woman, in fact. Mm-hmm. Like the modern version of a Dr. Charles Drew, somebody who invented something that saved a bunch of lives, I think is this Dr. Kizzy. Her last name is escaping me, but she's an African American woman, and she helped to develop the COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah, COVID. Thank you for saving us.
Yeah, right. I know, right. So she's like, yeah, she's somebody. So that's the point. Like people like that, we need to figure out how to make them famous because they have a story to tell and we want to hear it. Yeah. 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 So that's, that's pretty much the point and something to think on. And if you're somebody who's a career professional getting in contact with us, we'd love to hear your thoughts because ultimately, as we develop and go along, I think that's going to be us, is how do you connect kids with career professionals? And so at the end of it, we're going to have to be right there in the middle, helping to direct traffic. That's all. Well, listen, folks, it's been one of those days. Sam, by the way, what T-shirt is that you have on?
TMNT.
Oh, Teenage Mutant. I didn't know one of them had braces.
Oh, that's just Mikey.
Mikey is one?
Michelangelo.
Oh.
I think they either copied the name of artists or artists copied the name of them.
Boy, good and well, some Teenage Ninja Turtles didn't predate real Michelangelo. Come on.
Okay. So, what if somebody in, the 19th century, maybe, I don't know, so somebody super old had, some pet turtles, and they're like, I'm going to name this one Raphael, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and, what's the other one's name? I forgot. Oh, and Donatello. Then somebody came along and they're just like, yeah, that's a good name. Let me see.
I think that is fantasy, but about a cartoon. The cartoon is already...
No. But then some historians found out the story behind those artists, and then they decided to make a TV show. So really, if you're watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you're learning history.
the history of pets, no less. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another episode of You Can Be ABCs. I think we're going to go look at some artwork of Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello, and the other guy. Leonardo. I'm Bobby.
And I'm Sam.
We'll see you next time. What are you talking about?
Hey, it's a good theory.
Yeah, theory, smeary.